In the merciless environment of the desert that my pride calls home, community is paramount. We hunt together, we gather together, we protect each other, we prosper. Strange stars, arcane runes, superstitions, and blood maledicts. All reasons why I had to leave, to face these elements alone. Until I met her, a Genasi woman. We said we'd protect each other, or something along those lines. I have a new pride now, and I will do what I can to not let my curse get in the way. Hopefully with their help, I can cure it, or at least learn to live with it.
Oh, hello there. No, don't mind the snake. Gypsum won't hurt you. Unless I ask him to. My name is Sivan. It's hard to say what I'm looking for exactly. All I know for sure is that I haven't found it. I believe that my mother may have the answers I seek, but I can't really confirm that until I actually meet her. However, I feel fairly confident that I'll find her. I've always had a knack for, let's call it, premonition. I remember sometimes as a child having dreams or strange feelings that seemed to guide me, sort of. Gut instincts that hinted at what may come, and they were usually right. But my father was a simple merchant and had no patience for such frivolity, as he would say, so I learned to just ignore it. Years later, after my father died, I wandered around for a bit until I finally landed in Boaz. It was there that my arcane training began. Well, training is a strong word. Let's just say I found an underground study group. There, I made a few friends, honed my skills, and finally started to feel at home in the world. After a few years, though, I realized that I had stopped learning new things. I had stopped growing. As hard as it was to say goodbye to my friends, I realized it was time to go and seek my next challenge. You see, upon my father's passing, I discovered a letter that was hidden from me, for many years apparently, and this is what has set me on my journey. I must prove myself. To what end? I don't know for sure. How do I intend to do it? I don't know that either. I'm not sure if I need to become more clever or more powerful, but I intend to do both.
What are you doing in this jungle? What? You want to know me? I am Conley. I think it means fire bat or something. That's what my friends say to me. My job is to make sure people don't come here, take away all the trees just to make another tavern because the old one started to smell funny, or start another war and have to build more walls just to burn everything in between you and they. I do this because my friends are good to me. They take care of me, raised me up from when I was found in this jungle with no memory and an empty stomach. They teach me to hunt and thank the things I hunt for helping me keep living. Though I like the big monsters of the desert more. They are fun to fight and make very good tools from their body. Big bugs especially. They say it is my job to tend to the balance. I like to think it means that you can keep being people and grow and build and all that, and my friends can keep being the free life that they are, so long as nobody push too hard on the other. My friends say I don't fully get what they mean, but they are happy I protect them, so this is what I do. Your old Sultan respected this balance. Let's hope the new one does the same. Now, if you are a trader or nice person, you can go through. Otherwise, if you bring any harm to this place, I will make new tools from you. So tell me, what are you doing in this jungle?
Evening. Good to meet you. Most folks know me as the Jackal of Zarakuda, but my friends, they call me Jack, and I hope we can see each other as friends. You may know me as a spy, an advisor, or you may have heard of me from that unfortunate assassination business. Well, why don't we put all that aside for now and get down to business? What can I do to help you out today?
And welcome, everyone, to another episode of Legacy of the Lazuqu. Thanks for joining us tonight. Who here can give us a wonderful recap of last session? Go for it.
Last time on well, already starting off great. Legend of the Lazuqu, our party found themselves in the temple after slaying some bandits known as the Wind. We were able to head down into the Undercroft, if I remember correctly, and there was some shady shit going on, and one of them bamfed out of there, and we freed a lovely sister who decided to give us a lot of information on the scarf we just had. Afterwards, there were some scenes with some character growth, some very nice character development. Daiquiris were had, children in hostels were comforted, and there was a great conversation between a elemental and Conley. Afterwards, we were taken down to, basically the source of where the water is coming from in the temple, which is a tad corrupted, as we found out, and we left off after arriving at this central point. Did I miss anything?
I think that's most of it. Anyone want to throw anything else in?
For the party's reminder, it's the Crystal Caves of Kolios that we are in.
There you go. Details. All right. So, we part the veil of reality and join our heroes back in the world of the Lazuqu Desert, where in the azure city of Halazan, they have descended down into the aqueducts with a druid named Alhamara, who has led them into this cavern that leads apparently to some pool and spring that is rich with spirit magic that is used to feed the emerald pools above in the temple they had just been at just a day ago. They had traveled through a kind of different levels of open cavern and have gone over some very treacherous chasms below, making it with some difficulty. And now, with their druid friends next to them, they now move into this room after this chasm that leads to an open cavern full of glistening gemstones across all the different parts of the walls, with crystals of different shades of blue and green and purple that completely illuminate this world around them. It's quite a beautiful sight. You all kind of Alhamara is coming up from behind you, but you see that basically this cavern must be at least 300 feet in diameter and has a portion of kind of rocky cavernous ground that is being totally there's a small stream that falls down to where your feet lie that is met with a gurgling brook of sorts. And as you see farther into the room, there is a kind of bubbling spring of a pool of water at the back of it with a kind of a large carved face of crystal. And it's quite a beautiful sight. Above you, you see that it kind of makes this large funnel that goes up, so you can see that the crystals glistening off the walls goes up at least as far as your eyes can see. Alhamara kind of steps up to you all. She goes, "Oh, coming down here never gets old, does it? Such majesty."
So I take it this is the place.
Yes, these are the crystal caves of Kolios.
So we should be able to use the scarf here and figure out what's making the water all not great.
Yes, in a matter of speaking, I believe we can cross over to the spirit world and see potentially where the source of this corruption could be happening from. I've
Great.
not crossed over here myself before, but it must tell us something. But I would also be cautious. This is also where I heard strange sounds from before.
What kind of sounds?
It sounded as if it was rock crashing against each other, as if there was a landslide of some sort, but there was nothing that I could find that was disturbed. It was very strange.
Other question I had was, are we supposed to let the other side know that we are coming?
Well, if I knew of a way to tell some of these spirits on the other side we were coming, then perhaps so. Unfortunately, since the Wayfinders have been dead, I have not found any way to do such. The spirits more visit us than we visit them.
Are we allowed to do this? Like, they are not going to be mad at us for coming to their place?
That is a complicated question. You see, some spirits take well to visitors from our plane, but, well, others do not. I have had the unfortunate pleasure to fight spirits that are not so welcoming, and, well, ever since the Wayfinders have been gone, no one has been there to provide safe passage, so, it may be met with mixed results. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I guess we gotta find out.
Yes, I presume so.
Do I have the scarf, or does Sivan have the scarf?
No, I gave you the scarf yesterday.
Okay,
or
I have the scarf.
RJ, did you have a question?
Oh, just 13. Can I punch the spirits?
I am not. I think that works, at least somewhat. If there is hostile spirits, they are, well, resilient to our natural attacks. But do you have salt on you? I have some, if not.
I'll be fine.
It helps to fight them if need be, but I hope with our any luck we do not have to face any foe today. We are not going to be there long. It will be much more of an endeavor to go for an extended period of time, you see.
Why does it hurt us to be there?
Well, if you do not travel with the scarf, then you can be met with madness and your soul separating from your body if you are not careful. But regardless, it is not without its dangers, just as the natural world. But you will not have anyone there to save you if you are, well, caught alone.
What do you mean when you say that you could get separated from your soul when you go there if you have no scarf with you?
Yes, well, you see, as people, we are blessed with a soul and a body that are bound together, but we are meant to stay in the Rasha, the place where we are material and everything around us can be tangible. In Ravea, the spirit world, it is not as so. It is more complicated, and spirits are prone to separate from their mortal beings, and, well, if they are there, it is as if they had taken a long walk into the desert sun and grown mad with exhaustion or just hypothermia, or it is unlike any kind of physical being or illness that I've ever seen, but the people that experience this, it is very hard to bring them back, if at all.
But it is a thing you can do. You can bring people back from losing their souls, going crazy.
Yes, usually it requires a miracle of retrieving the souls themselves, which until the Wayfinders were gone was very possible to do, but now you would need to go find it yourself, which is, well, I am no expert in this. But there is much archived in the library of the palace where the Wayfinders once kept their records that I believe is still there. Jackal may have access to this if you wish to know more.
Maybe.
Jackal is gonna look at the scarf which he has pulled out in his hands.
Sure.
That may be true, but I've always found experience to be the best teacher. And he's gonna try to use the scarf.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I don't know, dude.
You are you
Maybe
putting
you
it on?
put it on. Think real hard about travel. Maybe.
Honestly, I think like he's like pulling it out in his hands and just like sort of gripping it tight, and then maybe like looking out at. You said there was like a stream of water coming from the middle of this.
So yeah, so at the very far end of the room, there's this kind of bubbling spring and a pool that's at least 50 feet wide, and kind of encompasses a semicircle on the back of this cavern. On the back, it seems that if you look closer, it looks like there's actually stairs built into that end of this spring, and there's a large slab of crystal that seems to be carved flat and has kind of etchings into it. Right now, you're kind of like a solid, 250 feet away from the pool itself, but it is creating little streams that are flowing downhill towards where you all emerged from the entrance of the room. So it's like little trickles where you are.
Okay.
By the way, real quick, while you're doing that, Savan, can you please give me a perception check? Go ahead, Jackal.
I was either going to dive into the water or walk slowly into it, depending on the depth and how much I think that is a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to start crossing the room. How is everyone else proceeding? Are you following Jackal into the room, or are you staying behind?
How far ahead did you say were those stairs?
So it looks like they're built into the pool itself. So it's like kind of like stairs down into like a modern day pool, but chiseled from rock instead of, anything else. But it seems to be the only man-made thing besides this very flat carved crystal slab at the back of this wall.
And how far away is that wall?
That's about 300 feet across the room.
Well, then I'm going to just start walking that way.
Sure. And Savan, what'd you get for that perception check?
13.
Okay, Savan, you start to hear something in your ears. It's almost like a tingling sound, or almost like a hum, a low kind of drone. But you kind of like look around. It doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere in particular. It's kind of weird.
Okay. I probably am gonna try to keep an eye peeled in case someone or something is somewhere in our vicinity, but
Sure.
yeah, I don't think I could do much more with that.
Okay. So you all start to cross the room, and kind of it's pretty rough terrain. It's just kind of like jets of kind of like rocky crystals that appear every few feet. And as you cross over about 50 feet into the room, you start to kind of see this pool in much more of its glory. It's got a kind of like a fountain-esque sort of bubbling spring aspect to it. You see that there's actually some steam that pops up, that's coming off of it. Doesn't seem to be overly hot, but it seems to have some kind of magical property to it. And it's kind of glowing in a luminescent green color that deep into its depths. As you kind of cross halfway into the room, though, you encounter a large crystal that is kind of like the size of a boulder that seems to be kind of jet out with different outcroppings. And it seems to have these luminescent crystals on it. But Jackal, as you were kind of like making your way over it, the second you kind of like use it as a foothold, you immediately feel something shift. As you do, you start to hear kind of like rock that seems to sound like it's falling in a and as you do, it seems like the rock below you, this boulder, is emerging from the earth below you. Everyone is now separated, with Jackal on one side and Alhamara and the rest of the group on the other, as this boulder-sized crystal seems to emerge with these rocks that seem attached to it as if it were arms, and below it, legs made of more rocky boulders with 3 different crystals sticking out, no face at all, but you hear a large as it seems to be an aggressive creature, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh my gosh, just right out the gate.
Okay.
It's not my fault. Y'all are the one who walked in.
That's fair.
What's the size category of this creature?
Let me look real quick.
Big.
It is...
Wow, thank you, Captioner, for actually spelling big right.
It is huge.
Oh.
Alright, let me do some rolling. As this kind of starts, Alhamara calls out to you. She goes, "That was it! That was the sound!" And let's see. She otherwise looks pretty caught off guard by this. Jackal, what'd you roll for initiative?
10.
Conley.
4.
Savon.
5.
13.
8. We're all surprised here.
Oh my god!
Wow. Okay.
It's our worst collective initiative ever.
Yeah. Jackal's the highest with a 10. Okay, 1 second.
What the fuck is that?
Anyone who is proficient in knowledge or arcana or nature could make me a check to see if they know what this is.
Okay. 16.
Name.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good. So Conley, you recognize that this kind of form, although the actual material itself that it's made up of is not dissimilar to the earth elementals that you have encountered on the border of the jungle. Savon, you remember researching these as part of your studies of magical kind of like beings and such, but have never seen one yourself before. But it looks at least to match the general description of an earth elemental. And with that, this large rock that seems to be angrily cracking in the air turns and looks directly at Jackal, who disturbed its slumber. Jackal, you see that as this kind of crystalline giant turns toward you, it's taking its large boulderous hand and slamming it down at you. And you notice that as it does, it's got this green glow throughout its crystals, but you see a blip of black and kind of like a viscous like coating that encompasses some of its crystals at different points. So it's going to make a couple slams at you. Ooh, that's a crit. And that is a 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's been fun playing with y'all.
Wow, okay, you got really lucky. It rolled really low. That's going to be only 11 points of bludgeoning damage on the crit. And
I would like to uncannily dodge that.
okay. And it's going to be another 13 points of bludgeoning damage on the non-crit.
Shit. Okay.
Sorry. This thing kind of like takes its 2 boulderous arms and looked pretty angry.
Yeah, he like tumbles out of the way the first one, and then looks up as the second arm just hits him like dead on.
Absolutely. And next up is Jackal.
Ow.
You okay?
No. I'm clearly within range of this thing. So I am. What's its reach for the slam attacks?
It hits you from 10 feet away.
shit. Okay. I'm gonna take out my short bow.
Okay.
Take some steady aim. I can't move.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll try to hit.
Go for it.
Uh, 23.
Yeah, it'll definitely hit.
$16 points of damage. Piercing.
Okay. Yeah, so you let loose one of your arrows. It seems as though as it hits into this elemental, its large cracked crystal doesn't take the full amount of damage that you would like, but it seems to still damage it pretty well.
That's it.
Okay. Next up is going to be 13.
13's gonna rage.
Go for it.
Hey, this is gonna be fun. So, the tail comes out again.
Okay. But describe that for the people at home who haven't seen this happen before.
13 will basically wrap his tail to the front and then drag his claws across it. And as the skin peels away, there is a basically white viper underneath it that just springs out and grows to like a large size.
Brilliant.
And he gonna attack. My claws count as magical for all intents and purposes. So here goes. First attack. A 16?
That will barely not hit.
Okay. And then here comes the tail. For a 10. Good going, buddy.
Sorry, yeah, you take these two attacks. The first one barely glances off this crystalline hard structure. You think maybe if you hit a different part of it, it would be easier for your attacks to go through. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Next up is Savan.
Okay, so we're all just surrounding, like, just all of us in melee right now?
No, I'd say you're probably about 15 feet away from this elemental. 13 jumped right up into its face, and then it is engaging Jackal on the other side of it.
Got it. I'm just gonna back up like 10. Let's make it 15 more feet just to be safe. I'm just gonna scoot. I'm just gonna excuse myself. And I'm going to. Gosh, I can't see Jackal, can I?
You can kind of see Jackal through this thing's feet. You can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Then I am going to cast Chromatic Orb at first level. So just, it looks like I'm manifesting something. You can see that I'm in concentration, but you don't really see a concrete, source of energy. And then it just gets louder and louder, like rolling thunder that's getting closer. And I'm going to hurl thunder damage at this creature.
Okay. Please do. What does it need to do? Or is it just an attack?
I think it's an attack. Let me double check.
It's just an attack roll.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna use my crit.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so...
I'm gonna use my crit.
So, Savan, you see that this thing, as it's attacking your fellow companion from that is on the other side of it, its backside is exposed to you. And what you see is kind of a cluster of smaller crystals that kind of makes a ring of kind of like... seems to be structural vulnerability, perhaps. That kind of like is the source of the rest of it. And so you target this with this chromatic orb, and as you do, this kind of tumultuous orb of energy explodes in this elemental's back. And please roll me damage for this crit.
Okay. Remind me, do we do the thing where
you can
double
either...
the
You can either double roll or double the thing. I'm not too picky.
Okay. So, those are d20s. That's definitely not it. 4d8. So. Oh, it's not plus anything. So 32 points of thunder damage.
Okay. Yeah, so this bolt of this orb of energy explodes, and as everyone else around this cavern echoes with the sound of thunder that immediately reverberates off the walls. This large being that just took a swipe at Jackal immediately is exploding with crystals that fly off of it in every direction. It's not fully destroyed or anything, but you've taken a chunk that's the size of maybe at least a 5-foot radius of rock that's sheared from its back. It looks like it took more damage from thunder than anything else. Is that your turn?
That is my turn. Maybe 5 more feet, and then that's my turn. Then
Okay.
I'll call it.
Sure. Okay. Next up is Conley.
A couple of things I need to confirm before I know how to react. Did Conley see the cluster of crystals on the back of the creature in the little explosion after the thunder?
Why don't you make me a perception check?
Okay. Uh, 14.
Yeah, you are able to, after Savan kind of targets this kind of vulnerable spot, you see that it's now even more kind of sheared open, and it looks like a weak point.
And then the other question was, did I also notice the, inky globules that are on this creature?
Yeah, I'd say that, as you're watching it, these crystals, it's kind of like almost as if it's like a stripe that seems to kind of go from one side of this creature's back to another. Like this inky blackness goes up one crystal and then down another and kind of moves and undulates.
Does it give me the same impression of the poison in the liquid itself?
You think that would be a fair comparison?
All right. Well, then this scene upsets Conley. I'll shout out at the party, "Wait, it does not know what it is doing, I think." And first I'm going to start moving towards it and call out I'm hoping primordial. Can you understand what I am saying at all?
Okay, yeah. You don't see an immediate effect. This thing does not currently respond to your voice.
Okay. Then I'm going to try and run and climb up on this thing to get into a piggyback on it.
Okay. Make me an athletics or acrobatics check to get up on this thing.
Okay,
back.
which one am I slightly less bad at? All right. 12.
Okay, you are able to kind of shamble up this thing's back, quote-unquote, leg. Unfortunately, you kind of struggle a little bit, and unfortunately that, because of your difficulty, that's going to take your action for this turn.
All right, then with my bonus action, can I pull out a little Rocky friend and ask them to run up to wherever rocks have ears and try and get the thing's attention?
You can
Boko, can you do this?
This little rock spirit emerges from your sleeve and kind of seems flustered by your ask, but seems to agree after you ask him to do this.
Okay. All right, I've definitely burned through 6 seconds of conversation, so hopefully I don't die in the process.
All right, we'll see how that goes. Next up is Alhamara, and she kind of comes from the back and she goes, "What you're trying to do is kind, Conley, but it may be too far gone." And she takes...
The water was not too far gone.
She basically runs up and takes some her hands to the ground and kind of swirls them below her. And as you do, you see that there are vines and kind of different kind of roots that emerge from below and restrain or attempt to restrain this thing from below. Let's see if it works. Ooh, yeah, unfortunately not. Alhamara tries to command these roots to kind of entangle this elemental, and the roots just break free as its sheer mass just completely rips through its vines. Next
Give
up,
Alhamara a glare. The yellow in my irises extending throughout my sclera as well, giving it a much more glowing effect.
Sure, absolutely. But next up is the elemental itself, and as it is engaging this small halfling in front of it, it now is being made aware that a massive chunk just got blown out of its back, and there's something on its backside. So, as a first order of business, it is going to kind of take its arms, come back, try to turn around and see what's on its back, and after kind of being frustrated that it's not there, it is going to take itself and fall backwards, and it is going to slam itself into Conley and 13. So, let's see how these attacks go. Conley, that is a 19, and 13, that is a 17.
I'm going to use my reaction to bring up my tail to raise my AC by a D8 and hope for the best.
Okay, go for it.
Neat.
New AC is a 23.
Okay, yeah, that does not hit then. So, you're able to kind of just barely get this tail up to deflect this blow, but Conley unfortunately takes a large hit as this thing collapses on top of him. You are going to take 17 points of bludgeoning damage as this massive boulder collapses on you.
God, I'm sorry.
In the rubble below you, it seems like you've lost track of your small rock friend.
Coco!
You hear slight rumblings, but you're not immediately able to see what happened. And next up is Jackal.
This creature is on its back, right?
It is now.
Is it prone?
It is.
Me too.
Neat. All right. Yeah, I will absolutely attack it. Dropping my my short bow and pursuing it with my short sword.
Okay.
And I want to get all up in its face and use my bonus action to help by keeping its attention on me.
Okay. Absolutely.
But for that attack with advantage. You're fucking kidding me.
Having a time, y'all.
What was
Yeah.
it? Now one?
10.
Oh, a 10. Yeah.
With advantage, it was a 1 and a 3.
Ooh, yeah. Unfortunately, you're able to kind of get up on this thing, but with your short sword, you're facing the blunt. Yeah, you're not in a very good spot to hit its vulnerable areas, so yeah, it just kind of bounces off.
That's fine. I'm staying right up in its face.
Okay, next up is 13.
Well, 2 tail attacks. Here we go. Oh, 1 second.
Sorry, I need to designate somebody to help.
Oh, sure.
13, if you're the only one up, then yeah, it would be you. So
I'm getting reckless.
you would already have it because he's prone.
Yeah, so I don't have to reckless for it.
Sivan, take the help.
I got a 19 to hit on the first.
That will hit.
For 9 points of piercing damage, and then
Okay.
a 25 to hit for 15 points of piercing damage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, how is 13 going to town on this large crystal rock structure.
There is a moment where 13 kind of turns his body and the tail slips underneath the crystal elemental and begins to wrap its way around it all the way up to where the neck would be, and then just a bite into the neck twice, and then before it slips away.
Yeah,
Unfurling.
absolutely. This thing looks very badly hurt and is not quite dead, but you see that as 13's able to kind of like get his tail around and separate it, you hear it as crystals wrench from each other and start to separate. This thing's structural integrity seems to be in jeopardy. And next up is Savan. This thing looks like it's barely hanging on.
Did I see Conley get smushed on?
You did. You definitely would have seen Conley getting smushed on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to... Oh, gosh. It's all... People are all over the place in there. I don't have a clean shot. What I'm going to do instead is... I am going to just start muttering an incantation under my breath, and the ground underneath this creature will begin to rumble. And you will see a medium-sized, but a quite massive hand emerging from the earth as I cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp on this guy.
Okay, go for it.
Person, who knows? Well, it has to make a strength saving throw. But
Okay.
before you roll,
Yeah.
I
go for
feel
it.
like I know the secret to this. I saw it in the book, and it's just automatically going to roll a 2 on the save.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, absolutely. Savan conjures this hand from the ground, and as if knowing exactly what this elemental is going to do, places it perfectly to where it's kind of the remainder of its structural center is. And this, how does this hand? Does it just kind of like crush this elemental?
Well, yeah, I
apart?
kind of imagine it like comes out up around its midsection and then like locks on at first, and you hear like the tinkling of the crystal as it tightens its grasp, and it takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage,
Go
so
for it.
7 points of
Oh gosh, I
bludgeoning
hope I'm not
damage.
getting squeezed in the process.
No, it's like down around the midsection, not up around the shoulders.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how much damage you said?
7 points,
Okay.
and it is restrained if it is still alive.
So, Savan, how do you want me to describe how you do this, or do you want to? How do you do this?
Go for it. I like when you do it.
Okay, so this earthen hand emerges from the ground and it tightens around this midsection of this crystal elemental. It kind of like, as she described, kind of holds these crystals together, and you hear a tinkling of a and as its hand continues to kind of like fold in on itself as if crushing a piece of metal, and then finally a large kind of like shatter happens from its midsection, where its kind of like legs fall limp, and the part that Conley is on kind of like falls limp, as well as kind of like a piece of rubble or a boulder that leaves itself kind of like twinkling and finally comes to a halt.
I immediately start scrambling out of the debris, and like I look like I'm in a panic. Does any piece of that crystal still have a glow to it? Is it still alive in any way?
You would have to make a nature check. You see that it's still glowing, but so is every other non-living crystal around here.
Okay. 17.
You get a feeling as you kind of go up to this, what's left of this crystalline figure, that it seems to still have kind of magic coursing through it. However, it's not fully together enough to be considered a living creature.
No. I start to like kind of like grab it up, like hold it next to me for a second, and I start to channel some druidic energy, and in primordial I call it the word for care. And I cast Lesser Restoration to see if this will help the inky blotches at all.
Sure, yeah. So you go up to one of the pieces of the crystal that are laying around from its shattered form, and you kind of take it in your hands and cast this spell. You see that as you do, your magic seems to take hold a little bit, and what's in your hand immediately kind of coalesces into this small, tiny little form that looks like a smaller version of what you just saw in front of you, made out of just little bits of crystal that seem to hold itself together. What you find in the end is just kind of a small, miniature version of this elemental in your hands.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that they were going to do that. Are you okay? I kind of like just push my forehead against it and just... is it gone? Do you feel okay now? Is it out of you? Just gonna kind of like put it in one of my sacks for now. And just look in towards the smaller family members and just please take care of this one. It might be confused for a little.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hear a little from below at your feet. So
just look over at the rest of the party, like with a mixture of exhaustion and frustration.
Are you guys okay over there? Did anybody? I didn't squish anybody, did I?
I think it was doing the squishing, but
It did not know what it was doing.
precisely.
yes, that thing looked quite possessed of sorts. I've seen elementals, but they're not often as aggressive. It was surely that corruption you speak of.
Yes, but it can be fixed. We have seen this.
Yes.
And you don't kill your children when they get possessed. You call someone to try and use magic first.
I mean, that depends on who you ask.
That definitely depends on who you ask. And 13 kind of has a 1,000-yard stare.
I'll
Yeah, let's
sidle
go
up
in.
next to 13. Just do the like, so money.
I ask that you try at least next time.
Next,
Because it is not people does not mean it is immediately monster to kill.
Okay, that's fair, but how are you going to do it if we didn't kill it?
Gestures towards Pocket. I did.
Jackal's going in the water.
Absolutely. Yeah, Alhamara just comes up real quick just to calm me and says, I do appreciate your care for this being, and I sympathize with your cause. Unfortunately, sometimes it requires a lot more of self-preservation to maintain ourselves before we can help others. And, well, with this elemental, it was quite far gone. It would require quite a lot of magic to do so, but I will give it a try next time if you so wish.
Do so, wish.
Then so be it. Come, let us continue to the pools. I believe it is fresh for, well, no one has been here for many years. I've not been here in maybe 2 years or so. It has been quite a while. But, Jackal,
I have not waited on this woman.
sure, yeah, you kind of like start going into the water. Yeah, you kind of find yourself on the other side of this cavern where this pool of kind of greenish emerald color deeply kind of comes from some kind of spring below. How are you emerging? There's kind of like the deep end, so to speak, and then there's the stairs on the far end.
I had said if it was deep, he was just going to jump in.
Okay, absolutely.
13 might just stop him real quick and say, I can go scout real quick.
Oh, are you saying to cross over? It is normally ceremonial to descend down the stairs. It is much more pleasant that way, if you wish.
Sploosh.
Okay, yeah.
13 takes off his shirt, closes his eyes for a moment. You see the white fur turn to scale and the mohawk turn into a fin. And these slits on his chest start opening up into gills, and he will just jump into the water.
Okay, absolutely. So you all are both able to jump into this emerald pool. It is currently just like any other water, though. As you jump in, you're immediately immersed in kind of a tingling, rejuvenating feeling on you. It seems to kind of like close up your wounds and really just bring you back to life. You all are healed by 9 points of health if you are damaged. Alhamara you sploosh in and nothing really happens. Alhamara comes over and she goes, "Oh, well, I have to incite the Rite of Passage first. It is a different type of Rite of Passage, you see, but that is what is required to pass over if you so wish. But I was planning to do it together, you know."
Just breach the water like a dolphin.
Sure, you're able to swim. I mean, it's totally normal water at the moment. Besides
What
the
a show
rejuvenating
off. Jeez.
Just kind of. Savon, make me a perception check.
Okay. That's not super impressive. I don't think my modifier is either. Nope, that's a 10.
Okay. As you get close to this pool, something, that hum that you keep hearing is getting louder. It's like a and you're not sure where it's coming from.
Okay, like, this is starting to drive me crazy. I thought maybe it was that monster thing that we were talking about, but do you not hear that humming?
I try and listen.
Yeah, make me a quick perception check.
13, stop splashing around like a dummy. Come listen to the sound.
21.
Okay, yeah, Conley, as you are standing near Savon, and Savon's like, "What is that sound?" It actually seems like it's coming from Savon. And as you get closer to Savon, you notice, Savon, you have a certain crystal, yes? That is unique to your person?
I do. Hold on. Oh my god. What?
Where is that held right now?
Where am I holding it? It would be... Gosh. I guess it would be on a pendant around my neck.
Okay,
I don't think I would keep it in my bag, so...
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Okay, so yeah, Conley, you seems like, this is coming from Savon's neck.
I think it is this thing on you.
What are you doing?
Right there, this thing, the rock on you.
Yes?
You pick it
The
up,
sound you say you think you hear, is it coming from that?
you can immediately hear, like
Shut up in there. What are you talking about? Does this mean anything to me? This has never happened before, I assume. I don't recognize it.
Yeah, this is pretty strange to you. You don't really recognize what this is, what's happening here. But you know where you got this from.
Does it seem dangerous? This is happening? Am I getting any kind of like sense from it, or I'm just like, that's pretty cool?
As you're kind of like trying to suss this out, your slithery friend emerges up from your back up to your neck, and he goes, "Sivan, this is... your crystal is responding to this place. What is this meant to be something? Do you think you can contact, perhaps?"
Contact? Like, call somebody?
Perhaps. Did that woman not say this was a place of power for the Tao?
Oh my god, she did say that, Jimson. You're so smart. Oh my god. Okay, so do you think it's like a... Is it like a thing where I can hear them and they can hear me, do you think? Or do I have to, like... Should I write a letter? But what's the address? Just their buzzing sound?
I'm
buzzing sound lane?
sorry to say I have not written that letter. I cannot be of much help here.
You're making a lot of faces at your snake. Are you talking?
Oh, yes. I forgot. That happens. I forget that happens in my head, to be honest with you. I want to take the crystal in my hand and just, like, hold it up. Can you hear me in there? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, so you're able to kind of just hold it up, and everyone else, it seems kind of strange. Savant's talking to her pendant. No effect seems to be happening as you talk into this pendant. Make me a perception check, though.
This is broken. Oh, that's 16.
Okay, so you notice that nothing's happening when you talk to it. However, as you're moving it around, it seems like as you turn it here and there and kind of one way and the other, it seems to be louder of a hum the closer you get to the back of the room.
Oh. 13, can you breathe not in the water? Can you breathe out here too? Or can you only... I know you can hear me. Oh my god.
You can totally
So
breathe.
dramatic. Come help. Can you look at this? I don't want to look at this by myself. I'm nervous.
Kitty paddles over.
While they're looking at the rocks, suddenly the conversation... Coco! And I just start running back towards the rock rubble.
Oh no!
Baby, no!
Yeah, you find your little friend kind of after sifting through
Coco?
different
Are you
little rocks.
okay? I am so sorry. I forgot for a second. A lot of things were happening.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
god, I love him.
Continue.
Yeah, maybe I'll just check out the back of this room real quick while homegirl's doing her little druid.
Yeah, so she's so Alhamara has actually made it towards the back of the room, where she kind of points towards these stairs and takes her kind of bag off and takes a step into the first stair into the spring, and she goes, "Now, if you all wish to accompany me down this into the pools as I cast it, it will be a much safer passage. Do you wish to come with me, or would you like to go individually?"
Wait, you really weren't going to tell us how this worked before you sent us in here?
Well, I have, it has been a while since I've attempted this. I can forget details from time to time. Trust me, it's going to be fine.
It is the camera stare stare into the camera from The Office.
Sure. Absolutely. You can trust her as much or little as you like, Jackal.
I want an insight check because I might be remembering this wrong, but like, we had to convince her to come down with us in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
She's been up and down.
Can I make an insight roll?
Yeah, sure.
19.
Yeah, so you think that she's a little scatterbrained, and she doesn't seem to be misleading you, so to speak. She might have forgotten things, or she might be, haven't used this in a while.
Yeah, he'll just step out of the water and just like stand there dripping beside her.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Stand next to you as well.
So she starts to kind of like take out a little kind of vial of some kind of powder and sprinkle it around in front of her. But it seems like she's going to take a sec to cast this spell. Siobhan, what were you doing?
So I think as Jackal is approaching, I'm going to try to prestidigitate him a little to dry him. I feel
Sure.
bad about the sopping wet clothes.
Or actually, am I wet?
You are. Mm-hmm.
Even though I had the scarf?
Oh, as you have the scarf on, then no. As Jackal
I forgot about
emerges,
that.
it's only the parts of him that are not submerged that are wet.
Huh. Okay, well, then never mind. I am just going to see if I can, beachcomb this metal detector, this thing, until it vibrates louder. I don't know if I'm supposed to go in with her or if it's... I'm trying to discern if I'm going where she's going or if this is taking me somewhere else.
Absolutely, yeah. So you see that as you're getting it to the back of the room, it continues to hum louder and louder as you get closer to this pool, and it seems like it's pointing the best you can tell is that it gets louder the closer into the center of the pool that you're kind of moving it around towards. So right now, you're not too sure what to do with it.
Okay, I'll just hold tight until I feel that I have the answer.
So as you all are kind of gathering, presumably near Alhamara, she's casting this kind of quick ritual that, as she sprinkles this powder into the pool, seems to kind of have a circular formation of foam that comes around the stairs. And she goes, "Are you all ready? It is potentially an unpleasant experience, but hold on to your lunches, okay? I would just say, be very careful. If there are any spirits in this world, do not disturb them. It could go very poorly, and hopefully we can gain some sort of insight as to what's happening to this spring, yes?"
I mean, I guess. You don't really seem to know what's going on here, but sure.
Well, there's not many people left that do know what would be here, unfortunately.
Oh, God. Okay, alright, let's try it.
We will go together, yes? And she kind of like holds out her hands to like, everyone together. Like, are you...
Have to touch?
Basically, she's offering to walk down the stairs in a line, and she kind of like offers to kind of go down in a line together. She goes, if we are all touching the one who wears the scarf, then I believe it will all carry us over safely.
Wow, I'm gonna put my hand on Jackal instead.
Yeah, so then we should all touch Jackal.
Well,
All
yes.
hands on Jackal.
Just all the hands in the middle.
All right, so you all kind of like descend down these stairs one at a time in this very awkward, weird fashion, walking down into a pool.
Like
but-
everybody has their hand on his head because he's down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is easy for us.
And as you do, you kind of take steps down. You're like, what is going to be different about this? And you kind of like, what you notice is that as you take these steps down, you're not floating as you would if you were in open water. And you're able to continually sink and make it down to the next step. As you finally all make it to the point where your heads are submerged, you're encompassed by this kind of like just, submerged emerald pool that's hard to see where things are, and you lose sense of direction for a second. And as you continue for what seems like almost like an hour of time, but it's really only about a few seconds. And as you kind of finally emerge, what you notice is that the light above you seems to be changing from like the dark crystal kind of area to kind of a light yellowy glistening iridescent kind of like glow from above. And what you see is that as you're stepping down, you lose your sense of direction, and then suddenly you all are stepping up stairs, and you all emerge as you did in formation on a similar set of stairs, but in a completely different realm. You all find yourselves encompassed by a very similar structure room, a large cavern with a pool around you and a kind of like conical shape that emerges upwards. But instead of the cavern cutting off at some point, you now see an open sky of white and yellow. And you see that everything around you has kind of a gleam or like a strange blur to it, as if it's not all there. And you see that around you is kind of this spring encompassed by vines and plants and these kind of strange ephemeral beings that you're not sure are figments of your imagination or are actually there itself. It seems like birds and frogs and little kind of like reeds appear are kind of all around you in this spring. And Alhamara kind of takes a second. She goes, "Welcome to the magnificence of Ravea. It is a beautiful place, isn't it?"
Is there anything in the immediate area that would look like it would be having an effect on the water in our realm?
Make me a perception check.
Can I also still be like beep beep with my crystal? I'm trying to see if it buzzes louder in a direction.
Absolutely. Jackal, what'd you get, by the way?
27.
Yeah, so you're able to see that this has a similar hue to the water that you saw on the other side. And similar to the other side, you're finding splotches of black. The source of this spring seems to be not from deep into the ground this time, but you see on the far side of this cavern a waterfall that cascades down from the conical shape into the pool below. It unfortunately is at least 500, 1,000 or more feet up. And it is a large kind of at the very far end of this chamber. And you see that the black splotches do continue from that.
Is there any noticeable way to follow the source of this?
You think that it would take quite a lot to just straight up try to climb your way out of this large kind of conical cavern. But as you kind of make your way over halfway across this this pool, you find what seems to be a creature of like it seems to be a crane or a large bird that is lying seemingly kind of like passed out or hurt across a small bank in the middle of the pool. And this seems to have an iridescent green glow to it that seems to fade and glow and fade and glow. Seems to be bigger than all the other beings around this area. It's kind of like very close to the waterfall.
We can all see this thing?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'll point it out and look over at Alhamara and be like, how do you tell what is a spirit? Is everything a spirit here?
Well, yes, most things are, unless they came from our world. These are all spirits of this world. They do not cross over unless they are malicious or lost, but most things here are all spirits, yes.
But this one does look a little not so good.
Yes, I am afraid that they are not free from the same corruption that we have experienced on the other side.
Now, you said that we are not supposed to talk or interfere with spirits, right?
Well, it is not that we should not touch them at all, but if they are, well, hostile, then we could be in very bad shape. You see, the spirits can be very powerful in their own world.
Okay, well, that's the same anywhere. Things that are hostile.
But yes, I suppose that is correct. I just don't want to take any risks. No one can help us if we are hurt here, you understand?
I go take a risk now. And I'm gonna head over to this spirit bird.
Okay.
Jackal is also making his way over to it.
Sure thing. Savan, while you're doing that, you kind of like start to douse continually with your crystal, and what you see is the same way that you kind of went down into the stairs from that flat slab of crystal on the other side. This time there is a similar slab of flat crystal that is on this back wall right in front of the start of the stairs. And now the source of the humming seems to be from this area. It does not seem to be from the pool anymore. And it seems to grow kind of like a as you get closer and closer to this crystalline back slab.
Okay. Can I?
You sure can.
I'm just so curious. I just
I'll
wanna,
be with
can I
Savan,
just-
if anything.
Because I probably just absentmindedly like wandered in another direction. I just want to touch this wall.
Okay,
Does
absolutely.
anything happen? Does it? Yes. Let's just see what happens.
Okay, yeah, so I actually, unfortunately, I don't want to keep bouncing back and forth, so we're going to do Savan's thing real quick. Actually, you know what? Let's do the bird thing first, and then we'll come back. So Conley and Jackal, you go over to this bird that seems to be splayed out on a bank in the middle of this pool. It seems to have an iridescent green glow, seems to resemble some sort of crane or stork, and it seems to be either passed out or hurt.
So it doesn't look like it's really conscious.
You can see that as you go up to it, you can tell that its chest is at least kind of moving up and down. Doesn't seem to be completely out.
But it's not conscious, is the question?
It is not moving its head towards you. It may be conscious.
Is there anything on its? Do we notice anything immediately, like medically wrong with it?
Yeah, so as you get up to it, it seems as though, similar to seeing a bird in an oil slick, what you find is that as you go up to this bird, it seems to have black splotches along its breasts and its beak and its head that seem to be kind of like undulating and kind of gnawing away at the green part of this spirit.
Oh no, you poor thing. Is it okay if I try magic on these things? I don't know the rules of this place.
Alhamara calls over and she goes, yes, it should be the same as the other side, but the...
I was not asking you.
Oh, okay. Carry on, it's fine.
You're the person I'm supposed to be following until I can get my thing done, so what do you think?
Yeah, we need to help. And I think the only thing Jackal can think to do, since he is not a magically inclined person, is to go fill up a like water skin of water, and see if he can get Conley to like purify it before we try to wash off the like black splotches on the bird.
Okay. In primordial purify, and I cast purify food and drink on the water skin.
Absolutely. You're able to kind of see that as it kind of it has these black elements to it. You cast purify and it seems to burn the corruption away until this black smoke emerges.
So now we have a water skin of pure water.
You do.
Which I want to use to try and like wash off the ichor from the bird.
Absolutely. So you kind of make your way over to this bird and take this water skin to it, and as you pour this pure water over it, it seems to have almost like a sizzling sound that comes from the black ichor that has affected its beak and wings and breast. It seems to kind of like slowly, as if trying to wash out a stain, kind of like be met with resistance, but as you continue to pour water onto it, it seems to kind of meld away and fade into until the green glow is back to kind of a full kind of constant glow rather than kind of like glow and fade. And as you do this, you find that this creature starts to kind of like stretch and move its wings. It kind of starts to crane its head back and forth, and then it finally kind of like gets up into a sitting position and meets your eyes with a piercing green glow. And it looks directly into Jackal, Jackal, and he goes, "Thank you. Who are you?"
We're from the material world. We're trying to figure out why the water's turning all black.
Oh, you are concerned for my spring, are you?
This is yours?
In a matter of speaking, I thank Tartaja for this spring, but I am a Kona, a disciple thereof. And
It's Tartaja, the nature god.
It is, yes. I know not much about the details of this blight upon our spring, but I do know it comes from the tree of mana. And it kind of looks up this waterfall. He goes, and it says, continues, it brings out kind of a large wing, and it kind of points up. This waterfall emerges from the tree that holds our worlds together with magic. And for some reason, it is tainted. I know not why, but I know it is hurting our spring.
Any way that you could go check it out?
I am a spirit bound to this spring by nature and by dedication. However, if you so wish, I may be able to carry you to the top of our cave.
Well, it's further than we can make it on our own. Turns back to 13 and Savant. Hey, so this bird, what the?
Yeah, over there doing a thing. It's okay, we can do this.
It is very dangerous to travel to the tree alone for you non-spirited. Are you prepared for the journey?
How long can one of us be here without our soul being, ripped out?
I am not familiar with the time it takes for your soul to be separated from your body. You see, I do not have one.
So things cannot have a soul? You don't have a soul?
No, I am only a soul. This is but a form without a body, a manifestation without shape. It is not as rigid as your world.
You are very pretty.
Thank you. Kind of like cranes its neck at you. I would be prepared for, you call them days, yes? I would be prepared for multiple days to travel to the tree.
Jackal, wasn't the coronation thing supposed to be like just a day or two from now?
Yeah, so if you really want to see the new Sultan, we're gonna need to head back.
What's the name of this bird? Spirit?
A Kona.
Akona. Do you think this might get any worse in the next few days?
This has been consistent for a while now. It has gotten slightly worse every what do you call them, weeks or months.
When did this first start? In our time.
In your time, I would say about 2 months ago, maybe 3.
Is that before or after the destruction of the jail?
That was before. Before you saw the jail, or before the events that you would have presumed happened at the jail.
Okay. I'll turn to Jackal. I would very much like to see the rest of this world and try to fix the problems the spirits are having, but do you think we might have to come back?
I think we might.
We can ask the others as well, I suppose. I wonder what they are up to.
Beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
beep.
like a bunch of people searching for gold on the sand or on the
Right.
beach. So we turn our attention to Savan and 13 that are dowsing on the other side of this cavern. Savan, you see that this crystal continues to hum and as you find that it responds to this large slab of carved crystal, you put your hand on it. And when you do, what you feel and see is not like what you've seen before in the other world. You feel as though you are touching your own hand when you touch this crystalline slab. And as you kind of make contact with it, your crystal kind of hums even louder. It seems very high-pitched. And you start to hear it kind of like break up. It's no longer constant. It seems to kind of like...
Just pull my hand back really quick. No, that's really weird. Did you hear that? 13.
Running a hand on the wall. Probably.
13 puts his hand on the wall and does not seem to do anything.
13 licks the wall. Is it bone or stone?
It tastes like stone.
It's stone.
Thank you. I gathered as much, but I always appreciate your input.
Do you imagine how much more perturbing it would be if this was bone?
Why do you do this? Why are you like this? Like we're just looking for something, and you got to make it all weird, buddy.
And
Put
bring
my hand
levity to the situation.
I'll put my hand on it again.
Okay.
Do I still feel?
Yeah, you go back to it and it feels... You hear another... And it seems to continue to kind of make these strange humming, kind of undulating sounds. But
it still feels solid to the touch?
It does.
Or can I push through?
As you kind of like attempt to push through, your fingers seem to kind of move into the wall for a second and seem to kind of feel as though they're not touching the stone anymore, but you're not fully able to push your entire figure through. But as you do, you see something on the other side of this crystal. It's almost like a mirror and seems to glint off with your own figure, but you see that as you push your hand through and feel this and that hum starts to feel something, you're seeing something move on the other side of this almost like reflection that isn't you moving. Do you want to continue pushing through?
Gypsum, do you see that? What is this, buddy? Can you help me?
Sivan, I've not been to this world before. However, it seems like that sound is familiar. I've heard it before.
Okay, I don't know how that makes me feel, okay? I might pull my hand away from the wall for a second.
Okay.
13, there's something weird about this ghost rock, but like there's something moving on the other side of it.
13 leans over to where Sivan is indicating, and he'll...
It's like right there.
You see crystal and rock.
I see a very good-looking pair of people standing there.
Yes, but also there was something though. Maybe. Do you think we could come back here?
Turns. Can we come back here?
Oh, the Alhamara is like investigating the water in the spring and the plants there. Oh, yes, you can come back here whenever you want. I can teach Sivan the Rite of Passage, or anyone who does this magic conley as well.
Okay.
Perhaps we should go, but we should go back maybe for now. I need to see if I can go, because we came here at like the crack of dawn, right?
You did
we
come
left?
right at the beginning of the morning, yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, are y'all still doing the spirit bird?
You might have there's a little bit of time left if you want to kind of continue testing a little bit before they're done.
I don't.
Okay.
Because this feels real, so I am going to just kind of disengage from the wall for now. Try to take as many like mental notes as I can, and just
Okay.
just get out of there.
Cool. So you all come off the wall, and Jackal and Conley are able to come back from talking with this spirit bird. Well, Savan and 13 have no clue what you just did. You reconvene, what are you saying?
Tell them what happened.
That bird
want
over
me
there
to?
was talking?
Yeah, I spirit bird. Yeah.
His name was Akona. It says it can take us up to the tree. But it might take a while. And I don't know about the two of you, but I really wanted to make sure to see the Sultan first.
Right, in case we die here or something.
And also because I think it's going to take a minute and I don't want to come back afterwards, find out Sultan is big evil guy, burn down the whole city while we are gone.
Oh, that, yes. That one, yes. Also, what you said.
So Jackal, you owe us a party, right?
I suppose I do.
Oh?
So, I can guide you back another day if you wish to return. It sounds as though that tree is the key to the problem.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just take the instructions from you and you can stay home next time and mates. You can eat some more rice or
Yeah.
whatever you do for fun.
Oh, I am happy to do that. I have trees to plant. I am falling behind.
Yes, that is a good thing you can do. Show us how to do the magic and then you can take care of the trees.
It sounds good to me. I will tell you as we go back. Are you all done here for now?
Yes.
I think so.
I
Okay.
did have one more question to the DM. How have I felt in this place?
Yeah. So everyone in general feels as though when you stepped into this world, you kind of had a little bit of a chill compared to what it felt on the other side. And as you progressively went longer and longer, you would know, everyone but Jackal would feel this. It would get kind of colder and colder the longer that you stay here. It seems as though just like everything constantly is just, the temperature is dropping. The second that you come back and touch Jackal or make contact with the scarf, it seems to kind of reinvigorate you and restore some warmth. Conley, though, you seem, the second you walk in, it seems as though everything is cold, but a consistent cold. It seems as though it doesn't grow colder or warmer, and as you touch Jackal, it seems to restore you back to what you felt when you first stepped in the pool, but it doesn't seem to fluctuate as the others.
Thus, I have been very cold. I don't know much about this place, but it's like winter here for me.
Oh, alright. I mean, I had noticed. Alright, let's head back.
Alright, back to touching, everyone make sure we're touching Jackal as we go in, yes? Or we can just all hold this scarf. You know that's okay too, right? We can.
This
just
is
all...
better. This is safer, I think.
Yeah, let's choking me this way.
Then on we go. And you are
Snap
able
back to reality.
Yeah, you descend down the stairs, and as you're going down, you go into the water, and then find yourself walking back up into the Emerald Pool Spring in the caves of Kolios, where you had just fought this crystal earth elemental. And that is where we are going to take our break as our heroes are able to make their way back to the city of Halazan unimpeded. So, everyone, thanks for sticking around. Please take a break to have a bye break, get a snack, pet your pets, and check out an awesome word from our sponsors. We'll be back in just a few. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, baby, I love your madness.
Welcome to our Patreon. Here on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmar. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our undying love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Loremaster. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, open for adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by found familiar. Did you know that every bag of found familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of found familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by found familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found familiar coffee. Buy it today.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so so easy. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane and they're right in a way, but I just love to play and you're fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you left me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Whoa, baby, I love.
There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Legacy of the Lazuqu. As we were saying, as if deja vu, before our heroes were taking a detour to the spirit world, where they found a large spring that has some tainted water in it, and a couple of spirit creatures to say hello to, among a very interesting wall that seems to have some kind of resonance for a crystal that Savan is carrying around. They finally made their way back to the city of Halazam, where Alhamara had led them back to. And here is where we are going to do a bit of a time skip. There is definitely some time dilation differences from being in the spirit world and the material world. There is still some time between now and the coronation where our heroes kind of go about exploring Halazan for themselves. And I believe Jackal has a mission to do something before they jump into the coronation. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the night before the coronation, this teenager is going to show up to the Mango Inn, and specifically up to your room, Savan and 13, with 2 parcels in their hand. With a note that says for tomorrow.
Does it say who it's from?
No.
13, I think we have some secret admirers.
Sketchy packages from someone we don't know. He takes his parcel and then he's about to huck it outside the window.
No, wait.
I mean, do you open it?
Open it, yeah.
I mean, inside are fancy dinner outfits that are tailored to you. Feel free to veto or update this as you like, but 13, yours is this nice linen tunic and pants that also come with this like I don't know what it's called, like the fur like piece that goes across your shoulders. I'm thinking like it's a mixture between like
pauldrons.
No, like the
like a stole, the one that's like a thing around the neck.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Nordic mixed with
like it goes around the back, right?
Yeah,
like the fur collars, basically.
Yeah, sort of. With some nice gold chains going down the front, a few embellishments, but overall it's something very practical, but still it's very clear that this is the clothes of somebody who can fight. Sivan, yours is this what was probably a very, very expensive gown. This bright magenta fabric with gold embellishments all over it, and with little accents of turquoise. Almost like very, very highly inspired by the live action Aladdin Jasmine dress, because something good came out of that movie, and it was the wardrobe.
Nice.
And outside of the city, where I'm assuming Conley is still saying somebody else is going to show up there with a package.
I will hold them at spear point for a sec. Do I recognize this child of yours?
No.
Okay, yeah. What are you doing, Nimake?
I was told to send you this.
Who is it from?
Jackal?
Okay. And then I'll take it away from them. You can go away, then.
All right. And they run off.
I'm gonna set it kind of like 50 feet away and kind of like lay prone on the ground and let all the kids out and look over at the rock elementals and be like, I need you to open the box just in case it is a joke. Okay? Okay. Take Theory with you. He can burn some if you need to.
They all kind of like swarm this strange parcel, and Piri kind of like singes one corner of it. Some of the rock ones just kind of like, it's kind of like throwing pebbles at a paper bag. Just like, psh, 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 but it doesn't seem to be piercing it.
Doing their best.
Yeah.
Does it explode?
It does not. But it doesn't. It looks like it'll take a while before they're going to get it open without your help.
I'll throw a dart really hard at the side of the box.
Okay. Yeah. You're a psh, just it stops.
Okay. All right. I got this now. Thank you. Gather all the kids up and I'll open it now.
And inside is this, the first thing you see is this very, very like dark red fabric that's folded up. If you unfurl it, it is, I'm loosely basing this off of like Buddhist monk robes, but like the ones you would wear to something a bit more formal. Just something that goes over the shoulder, long flowy dark red robes, and there's a sash that goes with it, that is this very, very smoky gray fabric that helps accentuate it. Very simple, very plain.
Neat. There is one problem. I have no idea what your note says. But I will assume that you know a bit more about the customs of your people than I do, so I will wear this tomorrow, because you might need it.
All right. So as everyone gets some strange, almost unmarked parcels from Jackal, we all kind of like skip to the next day, where the city is alive with an electricity in the air. Seems like as everyone gets up, they notice everyone's just a little bit more, kind of got more pep in their step, and seems to be that everyone's got some place to go. Everyone's got this kind of energy that you haven't seen before, and it's very obvious that the coronation is the main buzz in the air. You all would be told to kind of like, basically the way that this works is a festival grounds that is converted from the Colosseum of the palace is opened up to the public, and that's kind of where a lot of the kind of rigmarole of traders and stalls and festivities of all sorts. Think of like a fair of in a way, or a festival is set up along the grounds of the Colosseum, and high above them is the podium and platform upon which the royalty usually address the entire province. You all would kind of be told to meet at the entrance of the Colosseum, probably, and would you all have coordinated to go in together and everything like that, or would you go in separately?
We probably would have met up. It seems like it's going to be a big event. You don't want to start separately because then you're never actually going to find each other. It's like a music festival. Like you say all day, like, I'll meet you wherever. You never meet each other. You don't see them for like days. So I think we start together.
Absolutely. So let's start at the gates of the Colosseum. Who would be there first, waiting for everyone to get there?
Squatting on the back of Canoe would be Conley, dressed as best as he can in these robes. I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to wear them, but I think I look all right. And kind of like awkwardly tied in near the sash is a javelin.
Also, these robes have a shit ton of pockets.
Awesome. Then I will also fill the pockets with darts.
All of your things have pockets.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Okay, so Conley's shown up, potentially not wearing the robes correctly, but he's got them on. Who's next? Who's there?
I think the one modification that 13 makes to the outfit is he's wearing the pauldron and bone gauntlet.
Who else?
I mean,
I don't know if like Jackal would have already been there, just because of his connection station or responsibilities that he has. But yeah, he's probably there pretty early.
Sure, absolutely. Or I guess that's something to note. If you all want, there's kind of like things to do throughout the day, and you all can meet at a certain time, like right before things are starting to kick off for the actual coronation, which is in the evening. But that's up to you all.
well, we need to meet at the gate so everybody can at least have their breakfast sandwiches for today.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, I guess Savan and 13 would have arrived from the mango tree. Conley's there from his post, and Jackal, would you kind of come from your post to meet up with them real quick? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone looks really fancy, don't they?
Yeah, and Jackal is showing up in this longer tunic that's it's like clearly like you hook it together in the front. It's this light gray with silver threading around the edges of it. But he, for as much like armor and everything he wears, he looks like he is underdressed for the occasion. The only thing really sticking out is the silver Jackal brooch that he typically wears.
Absolutely. So how do you all kind of like meet up, and are you kind of just charging into the festivities, or what's everyone's plan of attack? You all find each other there in full regalia.
Oh, good. You got the stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, you're our secret admirer. Oh, okay.
Man, did you ever think it was a secret?
Oh, yes. This is going to be a good day. I'll dole out the sandwiches. Somehow on O4A, every campaign I'm playing so far involves sandwiches, and I don't know how this keeps happening to me, but
Got to keep the party fed.
I don't. This is not my shtick. I swear. Something happens on this channel.
It's an important role to fill.
Sandwiches are important.
I guess so. Yeah.
So, how does all of this work?
How does this work?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know.
So basically, the entire day is this big old festival. Just tons of stuff, everything that you can think of, from entertainment and just like stalls and traders and people coming in from all over the Lazuqu desert. It is not just Zarakudans here to see the new Sultan and who's going to be coronated as the Sultan Akir. So basically, you all could kind of wander and we'll say kind of do whatever you want throughout the most of the day, and then towards evening and dusk, right near twilight, is when there's originally a speech from the Sultan himself, or just a very quick few words, followed by the Feast of Seasons that you all now have tickets to. And then lastly, after that feast is when the coronation itself happens, where everyone kind of just looks up to the platform and the new Sultan is crowned for then and always. So that's kind of the plan, and we can kind of time skip most of it up until the original speech if you so desire.
Well, most likely, at least for Conley's side of things, I probably am not going to be enjoying much of the festivities. There's way too many people, and a good half of them are very much a think for yourself kind of people. So Conley has been getting like super agitated. His hair is a lot more animated and waving on its own, in kind of like a flame-like way. And I will either like follow around the group silently or just ask where we are supposed to meet and just post there for several hours.
Absolutely. Anyone else want to do anything before we kind of skip
Yeah, I
to
want
the
to
next?
see like what kind of vendors are here. Is there any like cotton candy or fortune tellers or anything like that?
Cotton candy specifically, maybe not exactly, but there are definitely candy vendors that kind of spin dates from honey and kind of make it into this crystalline structures that resembles that of kind of almost like a caramel cage around a date.
I want that.
That's very, very standard and pretty well liked here in Zarakuda. And then what was the other thing?
Like a palm reader or like a game or somebody.
Oh yeah, there's kind of like there's like street magicians that are here and there that are kind of looking for tips as they're kind of like going up to random people and offering to kind of do the cups and balls with everyone and that sort of thing.
Bushel of olives under one arm.
That's smart, dude. To bring your own snacks, that's smart.
Get your olives!
Yeah. 13, we should get your fortune told.
I'd rather not.
But it's not as much fun when I do it because I already see and know everything, as you know. So we should see if somebody else can guess, and I can tell you if they're right.
What's in my pocket?
Olives.
Fuck.
But yeah, just kind of honestly just dicking around.
Yeah.
Sure.
If there is a cool game, I'll go check it out. Or if there is like could we get our faces painted?
There's
The glitters.
There's a station for that if you were so.
That's my second thing. I'm going to eat this candy while I get my face painted. And it's just going to be it'll be kind of like a masquerade looking mask, but just like sparkly paint.
Sure, absolutely. Anyone else want to do anything before we jump ahead?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm like actually fulfilling my duty.
You're
as security detail. Do I notice anything weird going on throughout the day?
Not particularly. You've kind of like, as you talked to Onorak before, you've kind of requested more detail of militiamen that are kind of keeping watch on the areas between the public and the kind of like rest of the palace. They're mostly situated around the perimeter, and they've got like 3 people to an entrance. So most of the entrances are completely covered from the ground, and you see that the palace is very busy, and like the kitchens are much more like, in order than they normally are on a dead day, and there's a large ballroom that the feast is going to be held in that is being kind of adjusted for the purpose, but besides the extra activity, nothing else seems to be weird.
Cool. That's it.
Okay. So you all kind of like make your own festive or not so much activities throughout the day, and come down to the point where you see the sun is starting to lower, and you know to meet all at the very back of this Colosseum area where this very highly esteemed feast is supposed to be. Excuse me. And Jackal has kind of instructed you to meet at a certain entrance back to the palace. As you do so, you kind of find yourself in an area closed off from the rest of the public, where a few guards and a very haughty-looking official is kind of like holding a piece of paper and an inkwell and kind of checking off different, like, are you here for the feast?
Yeah, they're on the list.
Yeah, we're on the list.
I'm sorry, what was the name?
Sivan, Conley, 13. We have invitations from... I totally remember the date guy's name.
Derillian Moringa.
Derillian.
So as you he's kind of like looking, and he's like, I don't see those names. However, oh, you said you have those invitations. Those are accepted in replace of the name on the list. And you're all able to give out your little kind of golden ticket, so to speak, to get in. And without any further questions, you are kind of ushered up these stairs and into an absolutely luxurious room. This is a ballroom 3 stories high that is completely open to the outside elements, that has like doors that can collapse in if you want to close it off. But it's kind of pretty high up on this palace ziggurat that overlooks the rest of the festival. And you see that there are different people dancing and kind of trading at these stalls, eating and having fun. And you're able to see that most people are kind of just jovially going about and starting to gather around the platform to hear what the Sultan has to say. You know that the feast is supposed to start directly after the Sultan has his quick speech, and this ballroom is kind of the entryway into, or it's like kind of like they're not letting people sit down at their tables yet, but you're able to see the platform from this open air kind of the windows that are completely opened up for this purpose. But what you find in this ballroom is a bunch of extremely well-dressed individuals of all sorts, kind of clustered in their own corners of the room. Those of you from other provinces of the Lazuqu would kind of notice different, very official-looking politicians and royalty of other provinces like Boaz and Saram. There isn't anyone from Garota there that anyone would notice. But in general, you're kind of able to identify very quickly that most people here are very, very, very prestigious politicians.
Are any of these very, very prestigious politicians turning up their nose at Jackal being there?
What's your passive perception?
18.
Yeah, so as you enter the room, you notice that a cluster of different like bits of royalty in one corner kind of notice your entry and then kind of like give a look and then kind of seem to whisper something back to their friends, and they all turn an eye really quick, trying to be inconspicuous, but totally not.
Unfazed.
They lean in towards Jackal. I think I hate everybody in this room.
That's how you know you're in the right room.
Yeah, most everybody in this room is deserving of some contempt.
What is that?
And in Primordial, he'll say the word for contempt.
I'll respond back in Primordial. Oh, you know it would have been way easier for us to talk like this, right?
Yeah, possibly, but it's a bit difficult for me.
I mean, your accent's really good.
Thank you.
Okay.
So as you all kind of are ushered into the room, after not too long, it seems like everyone's quieting down, and you hear kind of like a quick bugle horn that's the heralding of the Sultan to make his speech before this coronation. He kind of comes out in a large, with a large following of guards and a sage next to him, and Onarak at his side, and his children behind him, and you see that he kind of takes a stand up at this podium at the very end of this platform and addresses the crowd. It seems that one of his attendants casts some kind of spell in front of him to project his voice out. And as he kind of like steps up to this platform, you see that everyone in the entire Colosseum turns and faces the Sultan. And it's almost as if the entire world was frozen waiting for what he has to say. You kind of tell that he's pretty kind of like old and kind of slow to get up there, but as he starts to speak, his voice is commanding. He says, "Welcome, one and all, to the Lazuqu Colosseum, here in the wonderful province of Zarakuda. We gather here to celebrate the passing of lineage, as one people, to unite against the ever-present threats of the Lazuqu as climates and creatures threaten our way of life. Soon I implore you to enjoy these festivities and eat for just a little longer, and soon we will pass on the title of Sultanu Akir to that of my choosing, amidst the rites of the first Sultan and following their rituals. Thank you for attending such a momentous event and working together to unite the desert against evil." And kind of like, as he does so, he kind of turns off of this podium, and a lot of the people in the immediate royal kind of like entourage kind of bow as he walks by, and some people in the crowd immediately below kind of like erupt in a little bit of an applause. But as he kind of like takes a step back, you notice that the festivities kind of continue to go back to a little bit of a buzz. Everyone's kind of like knows this is somewhat dinner time for the entire festival, and most people are taking a step taking places at the amphitheater as everyone's kind of settling in for the coronation. As you kind of like turn back to the ballroom, you see that this opulent marble, like alternate, I'm just going to go into a little description. Basically, the floor is this alternating black and white marbled floor in this crosshatch pattern. This entire room is inlaid with columns every like maybe 6 to 10 feet, and every little bit of this architecture is chiseled and manicured and perfectly crafted. It's got gold inlays around it, and it's got heraldic banners that fall from the ceiling in the royal Lazuqu blue, or Zarakuda blue. And as kind of the Sultan finishes his speech, you notice that all these politicians are starting to take their places. Onarak kind of comes back from walking with the Sultan and finds you, Jackal, amongst your companions. And he kind of comes up and says, "Oh, hello, Jackal. How are you doing? Are you enjoying the festival, yes? Or are you just, well, being on guard?"
I'm being on guard. How are things going?
"So far, so good. Apparently, the Sultan still has yet to tell any of his close followers what he's choosing, but, who can know what his mysterious mind holds? Are you looking forward to this feast?"
I'm looking forward to this being over.
"Yes. I suppose that's the sunny disposition I expect. Well, most of the royalty from the other provinces have the main table here, but I believe it was planned for you to sit with me amongst my table over this way." And he kind of points to a side area with kind of like, think of like booths at a restaurant, but instead it's their own tables that are very, very bougily inlaid with, you know, beautiful silverware, and it's even kind of got its own outcropping of the room with a curtain in front of it for privacy.
Well, alright then, if I'm expected. I'll see y'all after.
Oh, we
Alright.
do have room for your companions there as well. I believe the Moringas were sitting at our table as it is planned before they apparently gave away their tickets. You see, we were talking to the commissioner of rice from Suram. There was supposed to be an agreement, but if they wish to sit with us, they can.
More stuffy politicians.
Sorry.
I'm asking everybody.
Oh.
It would be nice to sit down for a minute.
Very well.
Right this way. And he kind of like shuffles over to this table that it's probably holds like eight people, 8 different kind of table sets. There's everything from kind of like the ancient desert equivalent of like a salad fork, a dinner fork, a plate, a tea plate, you know, a goblet, a wine glass, a teacup. Like there is things that you might not even recognize the purpose for that are laid out here. But as you all sit down and kind of await your food, there's kind of a bit of a haughty businessman that accompanies you on the other side, talking with Onorak, and lastly, the servants of the palace bring you out this massive, luxurious feast. They bring out everything from kind of like salted and smoked meats, like different types of mutton, duck, geese, and pigeons, wild birds. There's different types of hares and kind of deer that are served here as well. There's all different types of vegetables like chickpeas, carrots, beans, and things of that nature. Potatoes galore. 3 different types of wine prepared on every table for, you know, different types of bottles, and it is an extraordinary feast, more than you can see. And there's all sorts of fritters, pies, and things like that mixed in.
When you say haughty, is that a culture, or is there an attractive business person here at the table with us?
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a very, very well manicured, strong defined jawline, well kept. It seems to be a masculine person that walks up as this commissioner of rice from Suram that sits next to Onorak. This person is very attractive conventionally and seems to also have an air of superiority, or a level of kind of like the way that they walk is very kind of intentioned and somewhat like they don't need to make a lot of steps themselves. Like they have a lot of money and they have a lot of different baubles, kind of like jewelry and gaudy baubles all over their head as well.
If I may, everybody here is dressed. Everybody else at the table is dressed like they're trying too hard.
Yes.
This group looks better.
There you go. I would not disagree. So yeah, I think basically, is there anything anyone wants to talk with Onorak about, or like, is there any like, do you want to introduce your companions to Onorak, Jackal, or?
Yes. I just want to do like a very brief, just like they're these are the friends. They're helping with Alhamara. Is that her name?
Yes, Alhamara, yes.
And specifically, I'll point out, Conley here is the one who I want to get in contact with the new Sultan.
Oh,
Yes.
you are the one that Jack here has owed a favor to, yes?
Who?
Jackal.
Yeah.
And,
Jackal owes me.
And just what did Jackal do to, or what does he owe you?
I suppose we never made any, like, deal or anything, but I helped a friend of his, and so he said he helped me, and so I need to see who this new Sultan is, and they seem to know how to do that, so
I see. And are you from here? Are you from Zarakuda?
no. I am from Vagnorsi.
Oh, you have come very far away to attend this coronation. Have you been to this area before?
No, I don't like coming down this far from the jungle.
Oh, I see. Well, surely you do know the customs of how to behave in front of the Sultan and in court, yes?
Sure.
I will fill him in once we are able to get an audience set up.
And do you ensure that you have no ill intentions against our Sultan?
No, I am feeling quite good, yes. I'm not sick.
But, okay, fine. You seem harmless enough. I will not trifle any longer. We can arrange some sort of meeting, perhaps 5 minutes or so, after court one day, once we have instated the new Sultan. It is really unheard of, but I will see what I can do. Is that acceptable?
That. Yes. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And he kind of turns back to his food, unless anyone else wants to say anything.
This is the hot one, right?
No, this is Onorak.
I was like, he's the worst.
So Onorak is the High Wazir of the Sultan, kind of the High Advisor to the Sultan. And he kind of is this slightly plump man with a large turban that encompasses most of his, kind of like larger than his head. And he's got these kind of, I don't know, kind of run-down cheekbones, and he seems very keen and observant, but not very concerned with how he looks.
Picturing the Sultan from Aladdin right now.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Just a little heavy guy.
He seems like he's got more cunning than that Sultan would have. So, any other conversation topics anyone wants to bring up?
No. How much of this looks like? How much of the food on the table looks like it might keep that I could wrap up in my bag?
A decent amount. It's pretty well made food, and these are there's very, very expensive tableware as well.
I was just you read my mind. You read my mind. I'm just gonna really casually, like, taking a drink, reaching across the table. I'm gonna take some stuff.
Can I lament as
I'm taking probably a fistful worth of silverware. Wrapping up some snacks to go. Mostly stuff that I think will keep for a couple of days. Nothing that's smashable or like meltable.
Sure.
Because I've also stolen like 4 bath bombs in the time we've been here from the hotel, so I gotta keep everything separate.
Sylvan, you know these are free, right?
I know, that's why I'm saying you take as much as you. It's not going to be free tomorrow, I promise you.
Come complimentary with the room. Sixes is lamenting the portion sizes of the food here.
That's
13, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. You all kind of like continue to imbibe and eat and kind of be merry with this room that seems to be very much happy with their feast. You see that there are entertainers that continue to pervade throughout this room, and it's not just in the festival area that they're constrained to. And as you kind of are going through your food, a couple of court magicians come up and show you some kind of like little magic tricks with prestidigitation to kind of create these cool kaleidoscopic illusions and kind of show off little bits of flaring illusion magic in front of you. After a little bit, there's a tamer that comes by with a peacock, and he kind of like shows you like these beautiful feathers of his bird that he's able to kind of like have at his beck and call, and it seems to dance with him as well. And lastly, there's kind of a tall man in red that seems to come, and he goes, "Why, hello. Is this food up to your liking, I hope?"
Yeah, do you have any more of these ones? This one ran out. I don't know. Somebody must have. Could you refill this one for us?
Oh, I will get a servant right on this. Yes, excuse me. And he calls over one of the servants and kind of like describes what's missing. He kind of turns back to you and goes, "I would be honored to go refill your provisions. However, I'm afraid my craft is more in the divination and illusion persuasion. Would you enjoy that sort of trick? I have here my wonderful ball that shows exactly what you need to see. Would you all be able to entertain me here?" And
am I getting a sort of read from this person?
You make an insight check.
Can I also? Is this some kind of phony baloney?
You make an insight check.
Oh, my bonus is pretty decent. That's a dirty 20.
18.
Okay. And what was yours?
18.
Okay. Yeah, so you do not seem to detect that there is a malicious air about this person. It seems like he's actually trying to show you something in the ball.
By all means.
Great, wonderful. These are amazing wonders. And you see, it changes from person to person. It is almost as if they see only what this ball intended for them. Sometimes it's groups. If they see the same thing, then that means they were fated together. But the ball knows all. And if you would, and he kind of comes into the middle of the table, places it in a wrap of cloth in the center. He goes, "Please keep your eyes on this orb." And he kind of like starts to turn his hands. He goes, "Don't mind this little bit of fog around us to immerse ourselves." And he kind of like starts to release a little bit of fog around the table and mist around. Is everyone good to look into it?
Sure. I'm a little sus because of the fog, but...
Can I look around to make sure there's nobody around in the fog? This feels weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting Curse of Strahd flashbacks.
You look around and you don't see like there's anyone like alarmed about this.
Meanwhile, Conley's trying real hard to like keep all focus, unblinking on this thing. That's the last instructions given.
Yeah. Is everyone good to look into it, or is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you all kind of like start to focus your attention on this swirling ball of, it seems to kind of like undulate and swirl with different colors and shapes. It seems like the mist reflects into it. But after just a few seconds of looking into it, you all get pretty kind of like almost entranced and kind of start to see different visions of things within it. Jackal starts to see different children on the streets running through kind of like mist and kind of like playing together in the streets of Halazan. Savan sees a group of people sitting around in a circle reading from different types of tomes and having candles and different types of magic memorabilia around. Conley, you see some little visions of this fog undulating into little friends of fire and rock that you know and love, and your hut or abode back in the jungle. And 13, you are met with visions of your tribe and this the original dwelling that you once inhabited with your family. And as you kind of start to see these individualized kind of visions, you all seem completely kind of like you're unconsciously entranced by this ball, and it seems as though your entire focus is drawn into this. After a few seconds, you kind of like start to lose all consciousness of everything else, and it's almost as if the entire vision within the ball is your own consciousness. And with that, your vision starts to change, and as these individualized, happy, or different visions, they start to dissipate, and suddenly you seem to be kind of like a bird or some kind of swooping figure that arches over the festival grounds, and you see that below you is a bunch of people eating at different stalls and trading, and you see there's fire dancers and singers down below. You're able to even kind of like see the general palace structure of where the ballroom is. And you start to, it seems like this perfect vision of fog seems to recreate the entire palace structure. And then suddenly you kind of, this camera zooms in and suddenly comes upon a small pagoda that lies on top of one of the tower spires. You see that below is kind of like this large abode that Jackal, you would know, is the Sultan's own chambers. And there's kind of a ladder that leads upwards to a little perch at the very top of one of these spires. It seems as though there's two figures there, and the Sultan himself is laying upon kind of like a daybed or a cushioned chair. But what lies in front of him is something not of this world. It seems as though this misty vision shows a dark figure of kind of a gaunt, ephemeral and smoky form, besides this masked, kind of like very dark purple and black, undulating, kind of looking necrotic, kind of formless figure. Those of you, well, actually, anyone who, someone do me an Arcana check if they want. But you're not sure what this is. It's definitely supernatural. And suddenly, out of this fog, even though you're just looking into it, you hear this voice come through this dark figure. And it starts, you hear it say, "You've finally grown weak, old man. The time for your reign has long come and gone. Now you will be usurped by your own traditions, and you will be powerless to do anything about it. Soon your precious Lazuqu desert will resemble naught but rubble, and my master will have control of Ravea and Rasha once again." And basically you see this large blackish energy emit from this dark figure, and as this form of the Sultan seems to be sitting on this bed of sorts, you see that he's kind of taken aback and frozen in place as this essence seems to be draining from him to this dark figure. You all are completely engrossed in this vision, and 13, as you are able to see what this looks like with this kind of this dark figure and this mask ahead of it, you immediately have a splitting headache that erupts from your head and just completely overwhelms most of your senses. You're still in this vision, but you're starting to reel as your vision starts to flicker and fade into kind of like another vision of sorts in the middle of this one. You are kind of seeing a statue of a large Leonin crafted in marble somewhere in this looks like ephemeral world of Ravea now that you've been there. And what you see is a dark purple spike that is driven into this statue, into its heart. And you keep on seeing this, like, it's almost like a flashback that keeps playing over where the spike is driven in and driven in and driven into this statue. And what you see erupt from the area around this impalement is a perfect replica of the curse sign that you find on your forehead.
13 staggers back, arm flails out and strikes the crystal ball.
Okay.
That was a 16 on my Arcana check, by the way.
Yeah, so 16 on your Arcana check would let you know that you might not have heard of seen this before, but this is the closest thing that you would describe to a shade. The kind of vision starts to fade as 13 immediately reels back, kind of flings his arm across this table and hits this crystal ball. And the last thing that everyone else starts to hear and see as this kind of blackish essence is drawn from this form of the Sultan to this shade, you hear the Sultan emit just a few more words. He cries out and he says, let me rephrase. The shade kind of like finishes this kind of like strange draining and kind of laughs as it dissipates off into the day, into the rest of the sky. And as the Sultan is left alone, you hear him say, he kind of call out in a very weak tone. He goes, Ashkan, please, my last wish, please find Tithir and let him know who he is, please. And the vision fades from this mist as the ball is thrown from the table. You all come back into consciousness within this room, except for one thing is missing. The ball is there, but the man who was sitting upon, who brought the ball there and asked if you wished to view, is now gone. Go for it.
Is the vizier there?
Yes, Onarak is there, as well as the commissioner of Rice that was sitting there.
I'm just gonna like lean over to him, and just like ask. So, who exactly is guarding the Sultan at the moment?
Oh, well, we do have the militia standing outside his chambers and two of his personal guards that were supposed to maintain his company at all times. Why? Did you see something in that ball? I saw a wonderful dance of children. That was brilliant. Did you enjoy that?
I'll be back momentarily.
Are we in a private room?
You are not. You are kind of in a side area to this ballroom, and you kind of like throwing this ball off has definitely been like the commissioner and Onarak were like, what's wrong with you, kind of thing.
13...
Can I pick this ball up? Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say 13 is cradling his arm, and he's going to try and excuse himself.
Sure. And Sylvan, yes, you can pick up this crystal ball.
I'm just going to jam it in one of my many dress pockets and head after 13 to see what's going on.
And then I will follow Jackal because they seem a bit.
Oh yeah, Jackal has been on edge this entire time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Jackal is trying to make its way up to the Sultan's tower.
Sure, yeah. So you get up off of the table. Onarak kind of looks at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? Everyone's kind of like eyeing what's happening for a second. And you get to the kind of exit to the ballroom that goes further into the palace. And the guards there kind of let you through, but then when Conley comes up, they kind of like hold him there and he goes, "No entries permitted."
He's with me.
Are you
I'm
sure?
with him.
Yes.
Then onward. And you are all let through. And Savan and 13, what are y'all up to while they're jumping off?
Is there like a balcony, private, just slink to? There's
like so like on the other side of the room where the open area was to that platform, there's kind of like little tiny terraces where people like to drink wine and like, have their own personal sit down of 2 chairs, and there's no one else around.
Just looking out over the balcony, still cradling his arm. Like, saw something else. Did you see the Sultan and whatever that was.
Yes?
It feels like one of my nightmares. What I saw before.
Like, what do you mean?
There was a statue of one of my people. The mark on my forehead was there. There was a black spike being driven into its chest. I don't know what this means.
Well, probably that we have to go there. Dreams tell us stuff all the time and visions, and do you think that Sultan is like maybe dead right now? It looked like he got all of his goodies sucked out.
I think Jackal and Conley will come to a conclusion by the end of the night.
Okay, but what if they get their goodies sucked out too? Should we go help them? I just thought of that. Do you think that they hate us? I might hate us. It's probably because we're so pretty.
I don't think I can walk through the hall looking like this. And he'll turn, and the arm has turned chitinous, almost into a mantis claw.
Okay, well, let's just say that no, fuck them. Who cares what people think? Let's just go. Like, if they get mad, just snap them with your hand.
Sivan, are we fucking them or sucking out their goodies? You're giving him mixed messages here.
It's a party. Let's do both. Come on.
He's gonna try his best to hide it.
I don't think I have anything. Oh, you know what? The bath bombs would have had to have been wrapped in fabrics so they don't get crushed. So I'll just dump all the bath bombs in my. I'll prestidigitate it later.
Start throwing them into a fountain.
I'm gonna wrap your claw arm or whatever with this really lovely scented cloth that I would have in my bag.
All right. If you all try to go across the room and follow where Jackal and Conley were moving, unfortunately, you would be stopped by the guards.
We have to get through there. Our friends are through there.
I'm sorry, we cannot let you through.
Jackal's going to be so mad if he finds out that you trapped us here.
Then get his permission. It is not
If
our
you
job.
don't, I swear I'm going to turn you into a jelly.
I'll do that.
Are you threatening a palace guard?
No, of course not.
Then I suggest you enjoy the feast.
I guess we should just go party then. I hope they don't get their goodies sucked out. Let's go.
And speaking of which, we turn back to Jackal and Conley.
I'm like catching up to Jackal. What did you see inside the ball?
He's half not paying attention.
Jackal!
What?
What did you see? They say we see something we're supposed to need?
I saw the shade.
Did you see a thing in a tower somewhere in this building, like we were a bird flew over the city a little bit?
Yes, that is the Sultan's Tower. That is real. That place is accurate. And if the shade is
So what
there,
we saw was real?
maybe that's what I'm trying to find out.
Let's pull the javelin out. Let's go then. Okay.
You all climb through the maze of towers and hallways that lead from the ballroom up to the Sultan's Tower. Most people are still jovially, kind of like at work, tending to the feast and to all the different kind of royal going-ons of the festivities. And you finally make your way in about, still probably about 5 minutes, just to climb up through the different areas to the Sultan's tower. Jackal, you arrive to the familiar very large double doors that encompass most of the Sultan's chambers, and you see 4 guards posted there with their spears at the ready.
Is the Sultan inside?
Yes, he's with his 2 guards.
Are they okay?
We have not heard from them in the past half hour, but they have not come out, so we have assumed he is okay. He said he needed to take a rest before his coronation.
I have something very important that I would like to discuss with him. Will you please see if he is open to taking a visitor?
Absolutely. You are the spy master, yes?
Yes.
You can just go in if you want. It is your fault if you wake the Sultan.
Alright. He's gonna brush past, open the door.
Okay. You kind of like open the doors and find that the Sultan's chambers are mostly empty. There's a large, very bougie bed, a desk, a fountain, a bath, a large kind of set of pillars that open to the open air, and then there's the path and ladder that lead up to the tower and small little a pagoda, and there are 2 guards standing in front of the ladder there, kind of waiting for seeming to not be any wiser to anything different happening. They kind of regard you and say, "Sir, yes, what is your problem?"
Will you please inform the Sultan that I have something to speak with him about?
They kind of like look at each other and they say, "The Sultan was told do not be interrupted."
Stand aside.
They kind of like look at each other nervously for a second and make me a perception check, by the way.
That was not 1. I'm going to re-roll that because I am lucky.
Okay.
As a halfling. 19.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to, they're kind of like, they hesitantly let you go on through. As you're able to move through and start climbing the ladder, you notice as you're passing them that both of them seem to have kind of like a bandage in their torso right across the same area that goes across most of their kind of like midsection. And it seems to be quite a large bandage and in the exact same place. The other guards didn't have that.
You want me to come up too or stay in this room?
Hold on. Oh. Is that fresh, by the way?
What are you talking about?
Your wound.
Oh, yes. Training injury. Nothing too major.
Are they lying to me?
Make me an insight check.
10.
You can't tell.
I head up.
Okay. Are you leaving calmly?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of make your way up this this ladder on the side of the Sultan's chambers, and follow kind of a winding spiral path that follows up to the pagoda at the very top of the spire. Conley, after just a couple seconds letting Jackal go up there, one of the guards turns and kind of like whispers to the other, and then kind of like eyes you for a second, and then also starts to make his way up the ladder.
One or both?
One of them.
Okay.
The other one stands and just kind of eyes you. Jackal, you make your way up to kind of like the very tip of the spire. And similar to as you saw in the vision, this pagoda is just as you saw with the cushion and the kind of like couch. And what you find there is the form of the Sultan, crumpled and limp upon the bed. And as you kind of come up to this scene, make me a perception check real quick.
I also just want to take this time to say, like, I'm going to pace around the room a little bit and then kind of give just a friendly smile and point at the remaining guard, and under my breath in Primordial just say, target, and just cast Hunter's Mark on them.
Okay.
Just in case.
Absolutely. He doesn't really know what you're doing. Jackal, what'd you get for that perception?
T4.
Okay. You're able to come upon this limp figure of your Sultan. And as you are kind of surveying the scene, just behind you, you hear a bit of a scuff and some footsteps on the stairs. And just as you're able to turn around, you see one of the guards that's right behind you that is taking a large swing with his short sword directly at you. And you're able to immediately see it coming, but I need you to roll initiative.
Have you tried these olives?
7.
What'd you get?
7.
Okay. He takes an initial swing at you with his short sword, and he seems to be almost like, seems to be in a very, like, angry kind of like, ah! As he comes at you. Oh, we got a natural 1. So he totally kind of like swings and like stumbles up the stairs next to you. What do you do?
I would absolutely love to try and disarm him.
Okay. Go for it. I'm going to say make an attack roll.
Are you maybe doing it loudly, maybe?
Yeah, it's gonna be loud.
It would be loud. The distance between the ladder and the spire itself, though, is probably a couple 100 feet in the open air.
Making an attack roll, dexterously?
Sure. Yeah.
17.
Okay. You're able to... How do you want to disarm him?
Yeah, if he's coming at me with the short sword, then I just want to sort of, as he fumbles, just like grab his wrist and twist it unnaturally.
Okay.
And get him to loosen the grip on the short sword and attempt to grab it.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of like, as he comes at you with a swipe, you kind of like twist his arm, he drops his sword and you're able to pick it up. It doesn't look like he's deterred from fighting you, though. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay. He's going to come at you with like his 2 hands and try to tackle you and push you off the side of this spire in the open air. I need you to make an acrobatics or athletics check to oppose his push.
Oh gosh, I have featherfall.
12?
He did awfully. So yes, you are basically, he kind of like takes you in like tries to get under you, which is kind of hard, but is kind of like trying to take his weight and push you against the side of this staircase up. He is not able to get solid footing enough to stop you from holding on to the staircase, but he seems like he's going to try to continue to push against. What would you like to do?
Is he wearing a helmet?
He's not. Not currently.
Is there something big, heavy, and golden within the room that I could bonk him in the head with?
There's like a ceremonial golden vase, yes.
Right. I absolutely want to try and hit him with that.
Yeah, improvised weapons.
Ooh, that's a natural 1.
Okay.
I may still be able to. Yeah, this doesn't refresh. It's just if I roll a 1, I can re-roll it once.
Lucky the feet. Is it a feat
It's
or
not
is it
the feet.
Oh, it's the half.
It's not
feet.
the
Halfling.
Halflings are the best.
Yeah, so you're able to kind of like grab this little gold ceremonial vase. Or sorry, go ahead.
I I rolled an 8 on the die. I'm not proficient with this,
Right.
and I'm not sure if this is using strength or dexterity.
If it's improvised weapon, it's strength.
Yeah.
Okay, so I rolled an 8.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to grab this little small ceremonial vase and attempt to smash him over the head with it. He's able to duck out of the way at the perfect time, and the vase goes careening off down to the festival grounds below and is not smashed at all. He's going to try to continue to push you off this stair. He got a 24 to do so. If you should try to oppose with it, acrobatics or athletics.
9.
Okay. He finally gets purchased with his weight behind him as he's able to kind of like scoop you up off the ground and you lose your footing. He kind of like gets you to kind of leave the immediate proximity of the stairs, and you start to kind of scrape down this dome of gold that is the Sultan's tower. You see that the wind flaps about you as you are just on nothing but this gold structure that you can finally catch yourself about 10 feet down on this dome, and below you is nothing but the festival grounds hundreds of feet down below. What would you like to do?
helpless.
There's absolutely nothing under
There's
me.
So you're currently on the dome, like just the curved part. You see that about like 20 feet down, there's like a ledge of like the ridge of a building edge that is the base of the dome that you are able to stand on. It's probably about a foot. That would at least serve as a handhold or a foothold.
I think while he's hanging here, he's gonna keep holding on with his left hand, and I'm sure at some point, either him or Spy Master's Pass have made it very clear that everybody who works in the surveillance of the city knows like this sort of whistle or something. That means, hey, shit's going down.
Yep.
They're SOS.
Yep.
So he is going to, with his right hand, put his fingers in his mouth and do that whistle.
Right. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Just this 4-note whistle that he is trying to make sure echoes all across the city while he is hanging up here.
Sure. I was thinking, would the kind of like close palace guards know that whistle as well?
Maybe. Honestly, my thinking is probably not.
Okay, I think at least if nothing else, it would definitely at least garner a reaction. So yeah, you kind of like put your lips or your mouth to your lips.
Like
your finger to
I'm hanging by one arm. My other hand is in my mouth.
Right. Yeah. So you hear this piercing, 4-note whistle echo throughout the palace. Conley, you definitely hear this, as does the guard, and he kind of like is disturbed by this. As that happens, the guards from the internal, like right before the Sultan's chamber, open the door and kind of like turn to the other guard, and they kind of say, "What was that? What's going on up there?" And he goes, "Nothing. The Sultan was told not to be disturbed. Everything is fine." He goes, "Where's your other guard?" He goes, "He is helping the Sultan with something." And they immediately look suspicious and enter the room. They kind of say, "We're going to check on what's happening." And as they do, he kind of like starts to wrestle with them and immediately kind of like breaks form and starts to fight against these guards that are kind of like coming through, and they're able to finally restrain him down. and kind of like they start to run up this. They go up this ladder and run up the stairs. Would you like to follow them?
Yeah, now that I have the opportunity.
Okay. You are able to follow these guards up this spired staircase, and finally, after quite a few stairs, come up upon this guard that is kind of like standing up at the top, and he goes, the Sultan's been killed. I don't know what happened." And kind of like you, Jackal, hear this from like 20 feet down below.
Where is Jackal?
I don't know. He had to leave.
Where is Jackal?
He must have left. I don't know. What do you want from me?
There is only one way out.
He might have killed the Sultan. I don't know. I just got here.
But I was by the door the whole time.
Who are you to trust? I am a guard. The other guards are kind of like very shiftily looking between you two.
Jackal? Are you hiding?
Is there a way that I would have been able to climb back up?
Yeah, you can make an acrobatics check to try to climb back up if you want.
9.
You're not quite able to get a good handhold, but you're not falling. But you definitely hear them.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm gonna head out to like try and find the source of the voice. Can I see where Jackal is?
Yeah, you kind of look over the side of the spire as you get back kind of farther up, and you see Jackal holding on with one arm down on this kind of ridge, down 20 feet on the precipice of this dome.
Don't move. I can lift you if that is okay.
The guard calls down, he goes, "He's a traitor!"
No, he is Jackal.
What are you doing?
Well, do I have consent from Jackal?
Yes.
All right. Then with that, I'm going to reach out my arm, and I guess this will be the first time Jackal sees it. Several little troopers come out of my sleeve. Various little fire sprites and water sprites start like running out of my arm down the side and kind of start like pooling around like your hip and like thighs, and then start to lift. It can move you 10 feet per round.
All right.
Yeah, okay, the fire does not burn unless they get mad, so don't be mean. Come on. There's weird stuff happening. That was a weird accent.
And yeah, you're able to pull Jackal up as this other guard insists that Jackal's a traitor. The other ones have kind of grabbed him and restrained him. He goes, "Don't believe him! It was him! It was Jackal!"
I look at Jackal waiting and expectingly just... What's that?
Is that what you think of me?
I have no idea who you are. Master Spy.
It's alright, I was addressing the rest of the room.
That's fair. The rest of the guards kind of turn to each other and go, "Well, no, we don't. But why is he lying?"
That's what I would like to find out.
He kind of, the guard that's like restrained takes looks between the two guys that are restraining him and takes a bite out of the guy that's trying to hold him with one arm into his arm. And he goes, "Ah!" And the guards finally like subdue him on the ground, but he seems like ravenously like still trying to resist. Yeah, how do you want to resolve this from here, Jackal? How do you want to finish this scene up? You are in command of these guards.
Y'all know what to do. Bring him down.
To the dungeons.
We gotta figure out what's going on here.
And as you see them go down and take him away, You emerge down into the chambers of the Sultan, and standing there are the Sultan's 2 children, Aziria and Horego, and they look at you expectantly with a confused look on their face. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Nice. Ah.
All right. Thank you, friends, for joining us for this quite tense episode. Who would like to start our sign-offs? Let's go around and say who you are, your social media stuff, surely, and then your favorite part.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ on the interwebs, but you can catch me at RJS282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and sometimes stream with my friends. Tomorrow and Friday, we're doing some Valorant, I think, so that's gonna be fun. You can catch me on Mondays with Connor over at the Indoor Adventures channel, where we play our homebrew campaign. It's high tier play. We're like level 15 now, and it's getting wild. On Sundays, catch me in the AM over at the Hype Goblins channel, where I play a cleric sorcerer who just turns into sperm whales and drops on things. It's great. And also on Saturday over at GGK, where I play a wildfire druid who's... he likes the smell of napalm in the morning. But that's me.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part? Probably the beginning. That crystal golem made me laugh just a little bit. Like, that's one way to start a campaign or a session.
Fair enough. Who's next?
All right, hello everybody. I am Media Flare, voice actor for Hire and Dungeon Nerd. You can find me on my own streams on Fridays and Saturdays, where I play a mixture of survival and narrative games. You can also follow me at MidiFlare on Twitter. And if you are looking for some of my voice work and play Star Citizen, head to your nearest space station and listen to some advertisements. You might hear a familiar voice.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part? I enjoyed the tension that immediately hit once we all had our little crystal ball thing. There's a lot going on with 13 and other plot stuff, I guess.
Awesome. Who's next?
Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Connor. You can find most of my stuff on the pinned tweet and my Twitter at Cyberwolf1201. Yeah, it's got links to Twitches and YouTubes and websites and everything. You can find me with RJ on Indoor Adventures on Monday. You can find me here, which you've already found us. Good job. Yeah. My favorite parts were, number 1, getting clothes for everybody, because I like it. And number 2, all the times during this session that I was about to die.
Just a few.
Because, whoo, man, that adrenaline is good.
Seems like Jackal gets that pretty often. He likes to live on the edge, I guess, what he would have to say.
It's hard to keep halflings safe.
Yeah, I like how half of us are just chilling, getting some champagne. Jackal's about to die. We have no idea. It's a party. Okay, so hi, I'm Chris. You can find me on Twitter at Kiss of Hemlock. I'm here on Wednesdays playing this really interesting person. And And I do a handful of other things if you would like to keep up with us. I have a super cool podcast that I'm part of called Fae Forge Academy. Would highly recommend. Not that I'm biased. I was a fan before I joined the cast, but we just got a shout out on Nerdist, which was pretty exciting for us. So definitely worth a listen. Also doing a bunch of other cool things, including this Saturday on the Fae Forge channel on Twitch. We are doing a 2-day charity stream for Black Girls Code. Saturday and Sunday, 2 games each. You should definitely check it out. I will be making my DMing debut in front of strangers, and I'm fine with it. So my favorite part, I think my favorite part was I'm very interested in going back down to this Emerald Pool, Ghost World, wherever we were, because I feel like there's a bunch of really cool stuff that's about to go down in that place. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens with bird spirits and crystal mirror walls.
Awesome. And hello everyone, I am Luke. I'm your Dungeon Master for today. You can find me on Twitter and on the Open for Adventure Discord at Dr. Petrichor. When I am not making video game cinematics during the day, I'm found here mostly for the Open for Adventure in terms of any streams, but maybe that'll change sometime in the future. Let's see, my favorite part for tonight, I'd say it is really funny the way that you all went through the festivities and reacted to the different kind of like passerby and in the ballroom differently. Like Conley's like, I want nothing to do with this. I hate everyone in this room. 13's got a bundle of olives under his, his arm, and Savon's like getting candy dates. And meanwhile, Jackal's like, I'm all business. I can't wait for this to be over. I just think that was really kind of cool and a good little moment. So yeah, but there were a ton of good moments tonight. Well, that will be it for us tonight, everyone. Lastly, but not least, we want to thank our wonderful Patreon supporters, which, if you're interested, go check out our Patreon. That will be posted in just a second in the chat, where we have a bunch of awesome premium content for you to check out. And one of the tiers is our wonderful Warm Fuzzies. And we'd like to thank each and every one of them for being so awesome, starting with Bel Chavez!
Bel Chavez!
L Street Gaming!
L Street Gaming!
Rick O!
Rick O!
Strix!
Strix!
Deborah!
Deborah!
And lastly and newly, Blessed Eloah!
Blessed Eloah!
Thank you so much, Warm and Fuzzies. Really do appreciate it, and it keeps our channel running. That'll be it for us tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you want to check us out next week, it'll be the same time, same place. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and make sure that you are open for adventure. Good night, everyone. Have a great one.
Bye.